The World Health Organization has created a new study, one of the largest ever created, that shows worldwide 266 million men and 375 million women were obese in 2014, and that these figures are expected to rapidly increase over the next decade. Some 2.3% of women are severely obese, and in this study, they're expecting it to double in about by 2025, which is pretty extreme. Now, they actually list a 6-foot tall person at over 130 kilos as being overweight. Now, it says person, but I don't imagine there's very many women that are 6 feet tall. So let's just take that as an example. A 6-foot man that's 130 kilos would be considered just below, up a point to where you'd have circulatory diseases, heart diseases, diabetes, other health-related impacts, and as well as other life-threatening conditions, as well as a noticeable decrease in the quality of life. Now, I myself am 6'4", and I weigh 133 kilos. So, given a few extra inches of height, I'm just barely underneath what would be considered severely life-threatening. That does not mean I'm not overweight. That's fairly obvious that I am. But that just gives you some of an idea of what's considered to be overweight to the point where something would become dangerous. The number of people across the globe whose weight poses a serious threat to their health is greater than ever before, and this epidemic of severe obesity is too extensive to be tackled with medications such as blood pressure-lowering drugs, diabetes treatments alone, or with a few extra bike lanes, said Maji Izzati, the senior author of the study from the School of Public Health. The United States remains the most obese, high-income country in the world and has moved from 50th to 36th in the world since 1975. It is followed by New Zealand, Greece, the UK, and Switzerland, enjoying the fewest obese people among its population among all the European states. So, what are we really seeing here? That the advanced countries that are less social are the ones that suffer from the worst rates of obesity. This really should not be surprising at all. That the United States is the worst of it, of the advanced nations in the world. And that the more socialized one is, the less obesity there tends to be because of an entirely different culture, et cetera, we already know. And of course, there are some poorer countries that have obesity, but none of which really compare to the United States. So, it's not surprising that this would disproportionately affect first world people who have more food to consume and do hoard the world's resources, especially including food, which in past studies have shown throw away at least half of the food that comes into their countries to begin with. And then are also the home of people who say fat is beautiful, or the same people that say you can't criticize me for my weight because you're being really mean, etc., because we're not allowed to criticize their overconsumption while the rest of the world is going hungry. Why would we question, obesity when there's very clearly a worldwide epidemic of obesity? It's about as first world as you can get. And that's a new study that's come out. I'll provide a link to the actual study from The Lancet in the description below. Thank you for watching. Won't you go ahead, rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media. And if you want, you can head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you could head over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.